Some C's by Kool D, the one and only Kool D, wrote a book over 20 years ago about the top 50, his top 50. We're going to continue with the countdown, man. Number 39, Lyrical Gangster Corrupt. Let's get into it. Let's get at it. MCs move these terrain, terrorists, pterodactyl, overlooking the plains off of propane plains, stick and blink, paracuted, politically therapeutic. MCs both rise, punish, executed. They say, soon shoot it, you up against the grizzly, cause Mackenzie, I'm on a frenzy, ain't nothing fun or friendly. I'm headed to where your friend be. You can call him a gangster rapper, you can call him a thug, you can call him misogynistic, you might even call him an underground MC without any mainstream hits, whatever. What you can't say is he's not a great lyricist. Corrupt is one of the dopest lyrical MCs in the last 10 years. Introduced to the lyrical landscape in 1994 by Snoop Dogg as a member of the Dog Pound, Corrupt was the instant standout for the lyrical lovers. Other than the later raves, Corrupt was one of the few first true gangster MCs that warranted respect on a looser lyrical level. As I have pointed out before, many times the listening audience gets caught up in the subject matter, missing the levels of expertise being displayed. The flip side of that issue is that when an MC, especially a gangster MC, gets a hit record, everyone's too busy dancing or singing the hook to notice that the lyrics may not be up to par. This is exactly the case. It corrupt. The people who don't know how lyrical he is probably paying attention to the singles and not going to the albums. On Corruption, where he does some of his best work, he tailor makes two CDs, one for the East Coast, one for the West Coast. On this double CD LP, there are a lot of 4 tracks that are not made for the radio. We absolutely does think, how long could the war last? On the warpath, I'm still eat blank, signing autographs, still hitting the stash, putting pills out the stash, political poltergeist, Robert Jerry Rice, blank the ice, give me the mic, and let's see who's the nicest. I'll blank round cause the crisis. I've never been a fan of gangster rap. I've always been a fan of lyrical MCs. Corrupt is one of the highest order of lyrical MCs. One of the major complaints about gangster rap is that most of the rappers use violent content to mask their normal use of vocabulary and poetic powers. Corrupt is the antithesis of this. He uses vocabulary and poetic prowess massively. When you hear him use words like telekinesis, you can tell it's not thrown in for shock value or to impress a highbrow audience. Corrupt is using his vocabulary to upgrade the flow, enhance the rhyme. So furthermore, it never feels like he just looked up a word to slap it in. Usually the words he chooses comes in a succession of words tied together to create a cohesive rhyme. And he never compromised. He always kept he's against truly one of the best. Strength, wordplay. Sometimes he can melt the same word in all of his tenses. Weakness, strong structure. Like many lyricists, he's so good lyrically. The song seems to be a secondary off the thought. Fresh, changed the game. Corruption, favorite LP. At number 80, originality for Corrupt. This is more about timing than anything else. By the time he came on the scene, gangster rap was really already in full effect. However, he did bring his lyrical side to the gangster rap. Concept 75, he came straight at you, straightforward against the theme with the lyrics. Doesn't split. He doesn't stray from the gangster rap formula ever. He's still versatile within his style because he'll switch tempos and flows, but he basically does the same thing. Vocabulary 90. He upgraded gangster rap through vocabulary. He's one of them MCs that I've heard do that. Substance 70. Just like I gave all the gangster rappers across the board, it's substantive to talk about your life. But at the end of the day, you have to offer some kind of solutions. Flow 85. Corrupt definitely plays with the flow. He shifts gears nicely, brings the rhymes back home. He doesn't leave any loose ends. He ties it up. All the rhymes with the flow, he tight with the flow. 70, flavor. He doesn't do too much with the vocal inflections or too much with the sound of the equation. 85 for freestyle ability without even being around him. I see him on little slow clips, heard him flow, a couple of video shows, and heard him do his thing live a couple of times. The key with his freestyles, he freestyles at a high level because his vocabulary. A lot of brothers get credit for freestyling just because they finish the rhyme, but Corrupt actually freestyles at a high level. He usually drops some rules in there. There's usually some vocabulary in there too. He doesn't do too much with the dynamics of his voice. He seems to be more concerned with keeping it straight ahead, blowing you away with the lyrical content of how he's bringing it. Number 75 for live performance. It's hard for the show to have a lot of dynamics when most of the records are downbeat records. A lot of times that's when gangsta rap shows run into more rhyme than poetry for the value. 75. 75, body of work. The problem with hip hop is that you make your music for a tailor-made audience, and a lot of times, like the big radio hits, it's hard to move a lot of units, even though Corrupt has definitely sold some units. Industry impact. 7. Gangsta rap was already in full stride by the time he came around. It's hard to make an impact if you came after the fact, especially with gangsta rap. Quite frankly, when he came on the scene, he was looking like it was getting ready to die out. But he still was able to maintain his own. 65. It's real hard to give gangsta rappers a lot of points on social impact, especially if it's not one of the first things you heard. He came a little too late in the game to make that much of an social impact. Longevity. 80. From 1994 to 2002, that's a nice little run. 90. Lyrics. He's the first gangsta rapper that I thought that brought the lyrical skills to a higher level. It's on a raise as far as the whole posse went. Bottom skills. 90. Based on his freestyle ability, his lyrical prowess, you can tell that he's an MC that has the battle skills in him. He hasn't been in any battles, but Corrupt definitely has the tools. You can see it on him. You can see he's a battle MC. Total score 1,315, average score 77.3. So that's it. The Blazing Cajun. We get to that about 5 o'clock. So that's it, man. I'm done. Look at Corrupt from the true 50 greatest MCs according to Kool D. So that'll be it for today. Not today, I'm still gonna be not done yet. I'll be back at 5 o'clock to do my thing. And like I said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more of the top 50 true MCs according to Kool D. They wrote a long time ago, over 20 years ago. I finished 39 about Corrupt, as you see in the thumbnail. Hit the like button. If you just came onto the channel, to the live stream, you have to go back and listen to it again, because I'm about to end the live stream. I'll be back at 5 o'clock and do number 38. So till then, talk to you soon.